Truth Season 9 with Akosia Konedu. Proudly brought to you by EcoBank.
Good evening and welcome to The Hard Truth. Now, the NPP, in their official response to the 2016 budget statement, have generally painted an austere picture of Ghana, describing the economy to be in shambles. However, the NDC have completely disagreed with these claims. Tonight, to defend against the claims by the opposition is the national organizer of the ruling party, and will also deliberate on the suspension of some parliamentary candidates-elect within their party and more. Mr. Kofi Adams is my guest, and this is The Hard Truth, and is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. My name is Nana Akosia Konedu. The show is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and the national organizer of the NDC, Mr. Kofi Adams is here. Kofi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Welcome to The Hard Truth, sir.
Thank you.
Now, following the readings of the 2016 budget this year, the NPP has painted a bleak picture of the state of the nation, and though the NDC government sees it as a positive step for the nation, what is your personal impression of the budget and that of the NDC's position?
Of course, the budget has been read. Budget is read out of what we have as a country, what we've been able to do, we are told, and then what we think that we can do in the next year is to sum it up with what we call the budget. If you look at the budget presentation over the years, it's not been very bad. I must say that even President Kofi, with all the complaints that people raised and which we still raise up to date, did this bit to contribute to the development of this country. But if you look at what has happened from 2009 till now, there has been consistent growth. Indeed, it can only take somebody who decides to bury the truth and hardly try to push what does not exist to tell you that the economy has not seen a positive.
So you think it has? It seems some positive.
Seriously.
But Kofi, let's look at the government. You know, we're talking about the power badge and all. Now the government has finally brought the badge, and Dr. Maumia also believes that the deal is not. It doesn't really make sense according to him. Now let's look at the statistics. It says that we purchased it for, if we are supposed to purchase it for $250 million, that could be cost effective. Now under this currently we have 5.6 cents per kilowatts hour, and that's almost $1 billion in 10 years. And then the fuel cost, that's 3,500 per ton for about $9 million. Is Baumia's assertion justifiable? Does it really make sense, do you think?
It doesn't make sense because Baumia is speaking like somebody who is not an economist. Baumia should be speaking as an economist and who also live in our part of the world. You think when people go for higher purchase, you think when people go to buy things and pay later, it's because they have the money seated there. You think that everybody would know which to build his own house or walk into a car sales point and buy the car if he has the money? But you go in for an arrangement of a sort, either lease or whatever, to use for a period because you do not have the money sitting there.
So are you saying that in the long term we are going to own the car park?
We're not going to own it in the long term. All that I'm saying is that if you have the money, as he claims, you just walk in there and buy it.
But Kofi, really?
But we do not.
Really, why would we want to pay $1 billion just to buy fuel to fill it? Why can't we?
You're not paying $1 billion at a go. That's not the case.
No, but if you put it together,
what I'm saying, well, you don't have to put it together because you are not going to pay that at a go. You're going to be spending little by little.
Yeah.
But it is over the period.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Kofi, you are talking like
if you have the money.
Mr. Adams, yes. You are talking like you don't care, and that
no.
Really,
rather
really,
because we care. See, one of the accusations that you hear from the MPP is that government has borrowed so much. That's the accusation they are levying.
Right.
So if you want us to go and buy the power badge off, as he's claiming, what you have to do is to borrow. Here is a party that is complaining that you have borrowed too much. So if you have borrowed too much and they want us to go and buy the power badge off the market as it's being sold, as it's being argued, it means that you will be adding more.
But Kofi, won't you?
You will be adding more.
Don't you think you'd have silenced them if you had bought it? Because if you buy it, it would have been cost effective.
If you had bought it, they would have come again that you are increasing the debt for
How
portfolio.
would you know?
And the interest, of course, but they are doing it now, even without going for that huge amount of money to buy it off. They are complaining.
It's not. Let's not talk like it's NDC, NPP rules.
I am telling you,
from
that's what
my
I'm saying.
perspective,
That's what I'm saying.
If we are paying for, I mean, if you add up, you are saying I shouldn't add up. Let's add up $1 billion for that period. Isn't that too much? Isn't that too much,
it's not too much, and I'll tell you why it's not too much if I get the opportunity. First and foremost, that's why I said Bawumia didn't speak like an economist. He spoke like an MPP person seeking to get votes to people he do know that he's speaking to, possibly who may not understand the details of it. Here you have the group complaining that the debt portfolio is high and that the interest servicing is high. Here you have the same group complaining that, oh, buy it off. So assuming you had bought it off per the price that you are quoting, $1 billion dollars,
right?
That would have increased our debt to about 25 billion, and that would have moved it beyond the 90-something billion cities that they are talking about into over hundreds. And when that happens, your debt servicing would even be higher. If you look at the arrangement in place now, the lease arrangement, all you are doing is that you're buying the power of them at a lesser price for the period that it is going to function here. It's not like
for 10 years.
Of course, for 10 years. And that gives government enough laxity to be able to, or period, to be able to plan other intervention and be sure that power is supplied and supplied adequately. The truth is that if you look at the power that is going to be generated from this power ship and the cost per kilowatt, even if Ghana no longer needs it, you can still sell it to the neighboring countries and even make some profit. Because if you look at the tariffs,
why would you want to sell? So you are
course,
saying
the
very
idea,
soon.
The idea of the government
Right.
is to export power ultimately. We are already supplying power to some of the neighboring countries.
We don't have it, and we are taking it away.
Of course,
fine.
If you look at what we are doing, you're going to have a lot. It's like a transport company, like a company that transport or that does haulage. Because you want to continually serve your customers, sometimes you may have so many haulage trucks, more than you may need even for your
Kofi, do we have enough power? That I dare to differ. Do we have enough power to take it to our neighboring countries?
Of course, we will have enough. That's what I'm saying, that if it gets to a point where all the other alternatives that are coming up are functioning, we're going to have more than 5,000 megawatts. When you have more than 5,000 megawatts, our current needs is less than 3,000, meaning that the rest that is there would have to be exported when you don't need it. And power can easily be exported. The interconnection that is between us, Togo, Benin, and even Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and La Côte d'Ivoire enables us to sell power to all these neighboring countries. The simple example I was giving you is like a haulage company that hauls goods.
Right.
There are periods when almost all your trucks may be engaged hauling goods for the services you provide the various institutions. There may be periods when the contract you have is such that you may not need some of the trucks. During that period, you release the excess for other projects.
That's when everyone internally is satisfied.
Of course, but that's what I'm saying, that ultimately, before the end of the 10-year, the other arrangement government is putting in place is going to yield some
they would have wasted $1 billion.
No, we would have wasted
$1 billion.
I'm telling you that we'll be making something off it. Because the cost
the money would have been gone already, sir.
The money would not be gone. The power that is going to be generated there is not going to be given to us for free. The power is not going to be given to us for free. And the power that we are going to be selling to the neighboring countries is not for free.
The Hard Truth, Season 9 with Kofi Konedu. Proudly brought to you by EcoBank.
EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries. It's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
Kofi, VRA's Point thermal plant would when completed, can produce about 230 megawatts, slightly above what the emergency budget is giving us now. And then they only require $20 million. In your personal view, again, wouldn't that have been, cost effective in dealing with the power crisis?
I'm not aware, first and foremost, of the power plants that the VRA is trying to build, that they need only $20 million. That is one. Two, it doesn't take, and it's not an overnight thing. It takes some time to build a plant. So once this is available, this power ship that has come was not produced.
It takes how many time? 2 years?
It may take more even. It wasn't manufactured for Ghana, but due to very powerful negotiations, we have to swap, so that what would be manufactured ultimately for the use of Ghana will now go to the other countries. So this was easily moved. So a power plant takes a long time to put in place. That is why people have said
when
again
you
and again.
What 2015, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 3 years. So if you had started,
you want me to tell you something?
I'm listening, sir.
President Rawlings initiated the thermal power generation as a result of a report that we can no longer rely on hydro because of this cyclical drop of water levels. When the MPP took over in 2001, no initiative was really done. For 8 years that the MPP was in power, apart from the mines reserve plant of 80 megawatts that was completed and commissioned, not a single plant was completed and commissioned. So if for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, only 80 megawatts of mine reserve plant in Tema that was completed.
But Kofi,
I don't think that we should expect that within this very same short period.
can I say that from what you're saying, I'm tempted to say then that your government deceived us, because you said, hold on, sir, you promised on the campaign platform, you said it will end when we come, as soon as we come power or the load shedding, Doomsday would end. But
I'll tell you why.
So that's how come Ghana voted for you. But if you tell me here that President Kofi's 8th period didn't see. I'm listening. I'm listening.
So you asked how long it takes. You realize that in 2010, 2011, and 2012, some thermal plants were completed and commissioned. And our opponent said we should credit them because they initiated it. And I'm saying, assuming without admitting that they initiated it in 2001, it took 8 years plus another 2 years of NDC to be able to complete it. Meaning that it took us about 10 years to complete one plant. So if a government initiated new plants, the building up of new plants, even in 2009, by the calculation of the period it took us to complete the ones they are saying we should credit them for, then you should know the period it takes. We have been able to do it even faster than others have done. That within this short life of this government, some plants have been completed. The Ameri plant recently has just been connected to the Atuabo gas, so as to be able to generate close to about 255 megawatts. That was done in the life of this government. It's not the 80 megawatts of mines reserve plant that we have in Tema. So when it comes to addition, energy generation, I believe that our opponent should not talk. The other problem that we've had is the serious weather challenges that have resulted in Akosombo. We used to contribute about, or is supposed to be contributing about 1,020 megawatts, now giving us a little over 400. So in that area alone, hydro for Akosombo, we've run short of over 600. Then you go to Bui, which is running only as a peak plant and not even all the time.
Kofi, why? I mean, you can go on and on, but we still don't have power. So you can't. It would have been great. It would have been fantastic if, we had power and then we're on joint. Yes, I'll clap for you, but now I won't clap for you. Why don't you pay $20 million to VRA to service the area?
So why don't you think that it's better to do this arrangement also, which will have it almost immediately for you to have power?
That's costing us a lot of money.
And you think that the VRA one will not cost us money? That's
$20 million.
Who told you that it's $20 million?
They said it's $20 million.
That the VRA says if they give them $20 million, that's all they will build their power plants. That will
Well,
generate
more money, but at least that's it.
That will generate 225 megawatts.
At least that's a start.
Is that what VRA says that?
At least that would be a start.
I'm saying that, but you need more than that. The VRA's projects are going on. The VRA's projects have not ceased. The VRA will complete its project and also connect. But that does not stop us from also bringing others on board, especially considering the type of fuel that is going to use, the heavy fuel oil, which is cheaper as compared to the light crude or gas. So this is the first of this kind in the West African sub-region. So this government needs commendation for such a wonderful arrangement.
We'll be right back.
The Hard Truth, Season 9 with Kofi Konedu, proudly brought to you by EcoBank.
EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries, it's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
Welcome back to the Hard Truth, and the national organizer of the ruling NDC government, Mr. Kofi Adams, is still here. Kofi, now let's go with the president and the minister said. They indicated that Ghanaians will have to brace themselves, Akosi and everyone else, we have to brace ourselves to pay higher tariffs, but because of the emergency power badge. Now, as at December 2015, there was about a 59.2% increase in electricity tariffs. And I'm asking if this is a justifiable cost enough, to pay this tariffs now.
I don't think that the tariff increment is based on the power badge that has come. I'm yet to hear any such statement that the increment is because of the power badge. The independent power producers and even the VRA and itself, Ghana Water Company, have been fighting and demanding for increase in tariffs. The PURC on the other side, which has been the body that adjudicates to see whether to increase or not to increase, have also been asking them to show cause, whilst their demand for 100% increase and the rest is the case. I'm told they have gone into the discussions and some percentage increase was allowed for electricity and water. Me as a consumer, I am never happy to have to pay more. Everybody will want to have everything given him or her free. So if you ask me as a person, am I happy? No, I'm not happy. Because even if I wish, like the way I breathe air free of charge from God, I should be able to eat free, sleep free, drink free, put on light free. I will have it that way. Everybody will have it. That's why people are suffering and working so hard to think that they can enjoy heaven, because we are told that there everything is free. Unfortunately, we are not in heaven. So we'll have to continue to pay for things that we use. People have to pay more to generate their own electricity through generators and what have you. The diesel that you buy alone, not counting the cost of the generator that you will have to buy. If taking this amount of money across all of us will help them generate and pay for, especially the thermal generation, so that even if our water bodies keep going down and we don't have the hydro, you can have power supply to run all through, I would go for that, because considering the cost to our businesses when you have to generate power on your own through generators and the rest, then that increment for me is good. I only pray that it will be consistent. That is what we should be. But this continuous shying away from
but
pain,
being consistent,
see?
you know, the argument, Kofi,
No,
is that if we enjoy our lights, and then PURC says increment, we're like, okay, because we have it, then we'll pay for it. But if there's no light, and then the light comes on 12 hours, it goes dum dum dum, and then so 12 hours, dum dum dum, and so.
But which one comes first? The thing is that it's not like they are charging you a flat rate to say that, oh, you are paying 10,000 for a month. Whatever you use or you don't use is 10,000 that you are paying. You pay for what you used. That's about electricity and water.
Right.
So if you are given only 12 hours, you will pay for the 12 hours that you have used.
Kofi, you are not being fair.
I
get you. I understand you.
Darkness, you are not paying for sleeping in darkness. So if they are saying that the amount you are paying for sleeping in the light is not enough, and that if we increase it a little bit, we can be able to produce more. So we reduce the number of hours you sleep in darkness, and it is power that you want. Which will you go for? Because I don't think you are paying for the darkness. Rather, the darkness is making you pay more on your own. That's why I'm saying I'm more happy that I have to pay more. But if I have to pay more and get it, and not take my gallon to go to the filling station to buy fuel in order to generate power for me to use at home and in the office, I would go for it.
Kofi, let's look at economic performance. Now, the NPP has continually, described the NDC government as, handling the economy very poor, and have backed with statistics. And the NPP inherited a GDP of 3.7% that from the NDC, and NDC inherited a GDP of 8.2 without oil in 2009 from the NPP. Now, the NPP grew GDP rate at 14% with oil, 8.2% without oil in 2011. Provisional GDP grade was about 4.1% for 2015. I'm asking you, does these statistics give a clear indication that the government has mismanaged the economy?
I just gave you an earlier example that luckily, in terms of measuring economy, it's not about what I say or what you say. It's what has been accepted as a way of measuring the economic growth. Let's deal with the average growth rate. And I did that earlier, that taking the entire 8 years from 2001 to 2008, you have an average growth rate of 5.8% GDP. This is where Baumia says it was the best. Then taking from 2009 to 2015, including the provisional figure, you have 7.4%. How can 7.4% be worse than 5.8%? Unless my mathematics is wrong. They talked about oil, as you indicated here. If you took away oil from the 2009 to the 2015, including provisional figure, you come to a figure of 6.4, which is still higher than the 5.8% average growth rate recorded under the new Patriotic Party government that Baumia thinks that we should celebrate. So I don't see what he's talking about, unless he's not using.
So you haven't mismanaged the economy at all.
But the statistics are clear, indicating that we have done better now than indeed the highest ever growth rate that this country ever recorded was recorded under the NDC administration. The longest period of single-digit inflation, and Dr. Baumia was part of the team under their regime that brought about inflation targeting arrangement. They could only have a single-digit inflation for a maximum of 2 months. Indeed, under the NDC, continuously for 30 months, we had a single-digit inflation. We have recorded the highest. And even our second highest growth of 8.4% is still higher than their highest growth of 8.1 that you are talking
You know,
about.
if Ghana was like, if you ask everyone, oh, I mean, how is your state of the economy? They say, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. That would have been fantastic. But if you go out there to the market, everywhere, ask them, how do you feel in Ghana now? Oh, I'm suffering. So
Yeah,
why can't this reflect in our daily lives and in our pockets?
You know why it is the case?
I'm listening.
It takes some time for some interventions to reflect on the ordinary.
No, but at least
person.
you know when your building will be completed.
I'm saying that. Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That it takes some time. For example, government decide that there is not enough water. So we are going to make sure that we increase supply of water. What do you do first is to increase the production of what? Water. When you've done so, you make sure that you build also reservoirs to be able to store the water that will be processed or that will be treated. Then you build main pipelines. Then individuals now must also lay pipes from their homes to connect to these main pipes. When you have not laid your pipe to connect to the main line, even though you have water in the storage tanks, you may have water running in the pipes, the main pipes, you will not have water running through your pipes. I hope you get the point that I'm raising. So there are certain interventions that people may not directly feel it. There are people who live in areas that today do not have water problem, but they are still buying water from other persons who have laid the pipes. And it will cost them more to buy the water. But if they have laid pipe to connect to the main pipe, they will also have water running in their homes. So government may play its part. It may left you some part that you also have to do to get the necessary benefit.
The Hard Truth, Season 9 with Kofi Konedu. Proudly brought to you by EcoBank.
Then you go to Bui, which is running only as a pig plant and not even all the time.
Kofi, why? I mean, you can go on and on, but we still don't have power. So you can't. It would have been great. It would have been fantastic if, you know, we had power and then we're enjoying. Yes, I'll clap for you, but now I won't clap for you. Why don't you pay $20 million to VRA to service their
So why don't you think that it's better to do this arrangement also, which will have it almost immediately for you to have power?
That's costing us a lot of money.
And you think that the VRA one will not cost us money? That's
$20 million.
Who told you that it's $20 million?
They said it's $20 million.
That the VRA says if they give them $20 million, that's all they will build their power plants. That will
Well,
generate
there be more money, but at least that's a
generate
start.
225 megawatts.
At least that's a
No,
start.
Is that what VRA says that?
At
all they
least
needed
that would be a start.
I'm saying that, but you need more than that. The VRA's projects are going on. The VRA's projects have not ceased. The VRA will complete its project and also connect. But that does not stop us from also bringing others on board, especially considering the type of fuel that is going to use, the heavy fuel oil, which is cheaper as compared to the light crude or gas. So this is the first of this kind in the West African sub-region. So this government needs commendation for such a wonderful arrangement.
We'll be right back.
The Hard Truth, Season 9 with Kofi Konedu. Proudly brought to you by EcoBank.
EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries, it's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure. while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
Welcome back to The Hard Truth, and the national organizer of the ruling NDC government, Mr. Kofi Adams, is still here. Kofi, now let's go with the president and the minister said. They indicated that Ghanaians will have to brace themselves, I, Akosi, and everyone else, we have to brace ourselves to pay higher tariffs.
Meaning that the debt portfolio is high and that the interest servicing is high. Here you have the same group complaining that, oh, buy it off. So assuming you had bought it off, the price that you are quoting, $1 billion dollars. Right. That would have increased our debt to about 25 billion, and that would have moved it beyond the 90-something billion cities that they are talking about into over hundreds. And when that happens, your debt servicing would even be higher. If you look at the arrangement in place now, the lease arrangement, all you are doing is that you're buying the power of them at a lesser price for the period that it is going to function here. It's not like...
For 10 years.
Of course, for 10 years. And that gives government enough laxity to be able to, or period, to be able to plan other intervention and be sure that power is supplied and supplied adequately. The truth is that if you look at the power that is going to be generated from this power ship and the cost per kilowatt, even if Ghana no longer needs it, you can still sell it to the neighboring countries and even make some profit. Because if you look at the tariffs,
why would you want to sell? So you are saying so very soon.
The idea of the government
is
to export power ultimately. We are already supplying power to some of the neighboring countries.
We don't have it, and we are taking it away.
Of course,
fine.
If you look at what we are doing, you're going to have a lot. It's like a transport company, like a company that transport or that does haulage. Because you want to continually serve your customers, sometimes you may have so many haulage trucks, more than you may need even for your immediate.
Do we have enough power? That I dare to differ. Do we have enough power to take it to our neighboring countries?
Of course, we will have enough. That's what I'm saying, that if it gets to a point where all the other alternatives that are coming up are functioning, we're going to have more than 5,000 megawatts. When you have more than 5,000 megawatts, our current needs is less than 3,000, meaning that the rest that is there would have to be exported when you don't need it. And power can easily be exported. The interconnection that is between us, Togo, Benin, and even Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and La Côte d'Ivoire enables us to sell power to all these neighboring countries. The simple example I was giving you is like a haulage company that hauls goods.
Right.
There are periods when almost all your trucks may be engaged hauling goods for the services you provide the various institutions. There may be periods when the contract you have is such that you may not need some of the trucks. During that period, you release the excess for other projects.
That's when exactly everyone...
The thermal power generation. As a result of a report that we can no longer rely on hydro because of this cyclical drop of water levels. When the MPP took over in 2001, no initiative was really done. For 8 years that the MPP was in power, apart from the mines reserve plant of 80 megawatts that was completed and commissioned, not a single plant was completed and commissioned. So if for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, only 80 megawatts of mine reserve plant in Tema that was completed.
But Kofi,
I don't think that we should expect that within this very same short period.
Can I say that from what you're saying, I'm tempted to say then that your government deceived us, because you said, hold on, sir, you promised on the campaign platform, you said it will end when we come, as soon as we come power or the load shedding, doom so would end. But
I'll tell you why.
So that's how come Ghana voted for you. But if you tell me here that President Kofi's 8 period didn't see. I'm listening.
I'm listening. So you asked how long it takes. You realize that in 2010, 2011, and 2012, some thermal plants were completed and commissioned. And our opponent said we should credit them because they initiated it. And I'm saying, assuming without admitting that they initiated it in 2001, it took 8 years plus another 2 years of NDC to be able to complete it. Meaning that it took us about 10 years to complete one plant. So if a government initiated new plants, the building up of new plants, even in 2009, by the calculation of the period it took us to complete the ones they are saying we should credit them for, then you should know the period it takes. We have been able to do it even faster than others have done. That within the short life of this government, some plants have been completed. The Ameri plant recently has just been connected to the Atuabo gas, so as to be able to generate close to about 255 megawatts. That was done in the life of this government. It's not the 80 megawatts of mines reserve
Kofi.
plant that we have in Tema. So when it comes to addition, energy generation, I believe that our opponent should not talk. The other problem that we've had is the serious weather challenges that have resulted in Akosombo. We used to contribute about, or is supposed to be contributing.
Statement have generally painted an austere picture of Ghana, describing the economy to be in shambles. However, the NDC have completely disagreed with these claims. Tonight, to defend against the claims by the opposition is the national organizer of the ruling party, and will also deliberate on the suspension of some parliamentary candidates-elect within their party and more. Mr. Kofi Adams is my guest, and this is The Hard Truth, and is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. My name is Nana Akosua-Konedu. The show is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and the national organizer of the NDC, Mr. Kofi Adams is here. Kofi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Welcome to The Hard Truth, sir.
Thank you.
Now, following the readings of the 2016 budget this year, the NPP has painted a bleak picture of the state of the nation, and though the NDC government sees it as a positive step for the nation, what is your personal impression of the budget and that of the NDC's position?
Of course, the budget has been read. Budget is read out of what we have as a country, what we've been able to do, we are told, and then what we think that we can do in the next year is to sum it up with what we call the budget. If you look at the budget presentation over the years, it's not been very bad. I must say that even President Kufuor, with all the complaints that people raised and which we still raise up to date, did this bit to contribute to the development of this country. But if you look at what has happened from 2009 till now, there has been consistent growth. Indeed, it can only take somebody who decides to bury the truth and hardly try to push what does not exist to tell you that the economy has not seen a positive.
So you think it has? It seems some positive.
Seriously.
But Kofi, let's look at the government. You know, we're talking about the power badge and all. Now the government has finally brought the badge, and Dr. Maumia also believes that the deal is not. It doesn't really make sense according to him. Now let's look at the statistics. It says that we purchased it for, if we are supposed to purchase it for $250 million, that could be cost effective. Now under this currently we have 5.6 cents per kilowatts hour, and that's almost $1 billion in 10 years. And then the fuel cost, that's 3,500 per ton for about $9 million. Is Baumia's assertion justifiable? Does it really make sense, do you think?
It doesn't make sense because Baumia is speaking like somebody who is not an economist. Baumia should be speaking as an economist and who also live in our part of the world. You think when people go for higher purchase, you think when people go to buy things and pay later, it's because the building up of new plants, even in 2009, by the calculation of the period it took us to complete the ones they are saying we should credit them for, then you should know the period it takes. We have been able to do it even faster than others have done. That within the short life of this government, some plants have been completed. The Ameri plant recently has just been connected to the Atuabo gas so as to be able to generate close to about 255 megawatts. That was done in the life of this government. It's not the 80 megawatts of mines reserve
Kofi.
plant that we have in Tema. So when it comes to addition, energy generation, I believe that our opponent should not talk. The other problem that we've had is the serious weather challenges that have resulted in Akosombo. We used to contribute about, or is supposed to be contributing about 1,020 megawatts, now giving us a little over 400. So in that area alone, hydro for Akosombo, we've run short of over 600. Then you go to Bui, which is running only as a peak plant and not even all the
Kofi, why? I mean, you can go on and on, but we still don't have power. So you can't. It would have been great. It would have been fantastic if we had power and then we're enjoying. Yes, I'll clap for you, but now I won't clap for you. Why don't you pay $20 million to VRA to service the area?
Why don't you think that it's better to do this arrangement also, which will have it almost immediately for you to have power?
That's costing us a lot of money.
And you think that the VRA one will not cost us money? That's
$20 million.
Who told you that it's $20 million?
They said it's $20 million.
That the VRA says if they give them $20 million, that's all they will build their power plants. That
Well,
will
there'll
generate
be more money, but at least that's a
generate
start.
225 megawatts.
At least that's a
no,
start.
Is that what VRA says that?
At
all they
least
needed
that would be a start.
I'm saying that, but you need more than that. The VRA's projects are going on. The VRA's projects have not ceased. The VRA will complete its project and also connect. But that does not stop us from also bringing others on board, especially considering the type of fuel that is going to use, the heavy fuel oil, which is cheaper as compared to the light crude or gas. So this is the first of this kind in the West African sub-region. So this government needs commendation for such a wonderful arrangement.
We'll be right back.
The Hard Truth, Season 9 with Kofi Konedu. Proudly brought to you by EcoBank.
I must say that even President Kufuor, with all the complaints that people raised and which we still raise up to date, did this bit to contribute to the development of this country. But if you look at what has happened from 2009 till now, there has been consistent growth. Indeed, it can only take somebody who decides to bury the truth and hardly try to push what does not exist to tell you that the economy has not seen a positive.
So you think it has? It seems some positive.
Seriously.
But Kofi, let's look at the government. We're talking about the power badge and all. Now the government has finally brought the badge, and Dr. Maumia also believes that the deal is not. It doesn't really make sense according to him. Now let's look at the statistics. It says that we purchased it for if we are supposed to purchase it for $250 million. That could be cost effective. Now, under this currently, we have 5.6 cents per kilowatts hour, and that's almost $1 billion in 10 years. And then the fuel cost, that's 3,500 per ton for about $9 million. Is Baumia's assertion justifiable? Does it really make sense, do you think?
It doesn't make sense because Baumia is speaking like somebody who is not an economist. Baumia should be speaking as an economist and who also live in our part of the world. You think when people go for higher purchase, you think when people go to buy things and pay later, it's because they have the money seated there. You think that everybody would not wish to build his own house or walk into a car sales point and buy the car if he has the money? But you go in for an arrangement of a sort, either lease or whatever, to use for a period because you do not have the money sitting there.
So are you saying that in the long term, we are going to own the car park?
We are not going to own it in the long term. All that I'm saying is that if you have the money, as he claims, you will just walk in there and buy it.
But Kofi, really?
But we do not.
Really, why would we want to pay $1 billion just to buy fuel to fill it? Why can't we?
You're not paying $1 billion at a go. That's not the case.
No, but if you put it together,
What I'm saying, well, you don't have to put it together because you are not going to pay that at a go. You're going to be spending little by little.
Yeah.
But it is over the period.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
Kofi, you are talking like Kofi,
if you have the money,
Mr. Adams,
yes.
you are talking like you don't care, and that
no.
you
Rather
really.
because we care. See, one of the accusations that you hear from the MPP is that government has borrowed so much. That's the accusation they are levying.
Right.
So if you want us to go and buy the power badge off, as he's claiming, what you have to do is to borrow. Here is a party that is complaining that you have borrowed too much. So if you have borrowed too much, and they want us to go and buy